Hey guys, so I've been really looking forward to do this video for a very long time now. I wanted to showcase again my Shadow Halo of Arrows build guide, which was also my first video on my channel 2 years ago. Um, this build, in my opinion, I know it's a little bit clickbait title, but I play Marksman for so many years now, and in my opinion, it's the best Marksman build in the game right now. Some things might change for 1.0. The Blast Rain build from Volca that he showcased looks pretty strong, but right now, this build 0.9.2, I think it's the best. I know there's the bug channel Flurry build out there. That doesn't count for myself because I know it's getting fixed for 1.0. But this build for so many years just dominated, in my opinion, the whole Marksman build guides. It's not a popular build because it's rotation based, so it's not very beginner friendly. But once you get used to it, it's very strong, it's very fun, very rewarding to play. And I mean, like I said, best marksman is always like hard to say because everyone has his own opinion. But mechanically, even though someone who doesn't like the build has to admit that this is probably the best right now in the game. I already have the video out. I have the leveling guide, so it will not be like a complete build guide today because nothing really changed for the last 2 years. I will just go over it, over also my written guide. There's also the max roll guide here. I will just go over it real quick to give some additional information because Tank, the creator of Tank Labs, basically created this build a couple of years ago. Both Tank and myself, we played this build for so many years. We are also in contact, just talking about the build, how we can improve it, how to make it better, what we can change. So yeah, I can give you a little bit additional information about this, and I will also, for 1.0, when the patch notes are in, some changes, I will update my written guide as well. In the last videos, I pretty much showcased only arena and the leveling part. So now I wanted to actually show you the real content, like powered monolith, some bossing. So that you see how I play this build, because some people, I also watched it on other streams, I see a lot of weird play styles, and today I wanted to show you a little bit like how you can do it, because I think the biggest part where people struggle is the whole mana issue. So how you basically can play it, you can just run through, kill trash mobs only with a shift Halo of Arrows combination. You don't have a lot of enemies here. If there are strong enemies, for example like this one, you do the full rotation. It's Smoke Bomb, it's Dark Quiver, and then at the end you just pretty much kite this guy inside here, and he will die. That was just one cast. So it's pretty much a whole kiting playstyle for bosses or high HP enemies. We use the full rotation here. One cast, everything dies. And if we have like trash mobs, I will show you again. This was a quick one. If we have like trash mobs, let's go here. Then you basically just do shift Halo of Arrows. That's enough. So this comes with a little bit more game knowledge. For example, here we have a couple of trash mobs. I kite them together. I know they will come to me, so I stand here, and they will all run and move on. A lot of trash mobs here. Same rotation, bomb, shift, Halo of Arrows. Everything dies. That's just one shot. So this is a little bit different to the other Echo that I had. So you pretty much have to adjust your playstyle a little bit. Once you see, like I said, like a big HP enemy, I will do the full rotation. But here I know I can kill them instantly like this. But like I said, if you see, okay, let's say this is a big one, rotation, smoke bomb, boom, and everything dies within a second. Very strong build. And it's not maybe the fastest monolith farmer. I mean, you can rush through like I do now. It's not the best boss killer, but it's like a very good all-rounder. You can do everything with this build, and it's also really good to learn bosses because you can just kite all the time and just watch all the enemies' attacks, telegraphs, whatever. It's really good build to learn. It's really good for a league start because it doesn't rely on any gear. So for example here, I just go down, rotation again, bam, cast it, and now I just stand behind the whole AoE. Everything runs into the area and will just die. Look, I don't do anything. Boom, do it again, kite, and just go out. that's the beauty of this build. I mean, it's so comfortable to play. I know there's the rotation there. You have to learn it. You have to adapt to it. But once you figure this whole rotation out, it's so cool to play. And I will show you a little bit. There are some bosses that are easy to play. There are some bosses that are harder to play. I think this is a good example because we have 3 single bosses here. So let's just play a little bit with them. We also have decoy, so we can taunt him a little bit here. Get the cooldown down, smoke one, run over this one, put it in again, and then we just kite around. Just like this. Smoke bomb, dark quiver, get a black arrow, position yourself, get the decoy out, taunt the enemies. Look, I don't even get like any damage. I think there's one down here somewhere. And this guy is almost dead. Sometimes it's a little bit quicker, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but for example, Lagoon is really easy to do. This one is better. The dragon boss is easy to do. This one is a little bit harder. The hardest boss is Shade, because the Shade is like jumping around all the time. But like I said, if you get knowledge in the game, if you know how everything like works, the bosses, the mechanics, then you also get better with this build. So that is the beauty. That's why I love it so much to play it, because you can really see how much you improve actually playing this game with this build. So just a quick overview. Like I said, nothing like big change for this build, but I will just explain for the new players how everything works here. So as you saw in the empowered monolith, for trash mobs you only do shift hail of arrows immediately, because we have our passive here that gives us increased damage per increased movement speed. We want as much movement speed as possible. It's a kiting build. It was made for arena. The more movement speed you have, the better your damage is, the better your survivability is for this build. If you wait for too long, then pretty much your shift buff is down, and then you do not that much damage. It's not that big, but it's still important to shoot hail of arrows right after your shift to get a little bit damage here. Look at the numbers. It's not that high. Almost 15k ticks. Let's do the full rotation. Smoke bomb, dark quiver, wait for the black arrows, wait until you have 3 shadows, shift, and now you have the big numbers. This is going up to 90k I think right now for myself. That's almost like 400k DPS, because those are like actual, not dot ticks, but ticks for hail of arrows. Like good damage, no broken damage. I also heard a lot of people, this is like too crazy, this is such a good build. It's not broken, it's one of the most balanced builds I actually ever seen. It's just mechanical powerful, but also in a cost of a rotation playstyle. So you have to learn it, you have to be good, otherwise you will fail pretty much. This is the whole rotation, and if there's something like dangerous, pop a decoy, everyone runs here, you can simply do the whole rotation, pretty easy, bam, bam, and now you do the damage. That's it. And you can move on, shift, hail of arrows. You only have to be careful of your mana pool, because hail of arrows has a big mana cost. I also saw some people that just like shift, shoot, there's another pack here, shoot immediately. Of course you will have mana problems, but you really have to consider like to play with the high duration that you have in a skill. This is pretty much the big note that gives you more duration. Like, take your time. You don't need to kill every enemy. If you know that they will run behind you, shoot behind you, kite a little bit, everything will run inside here and they will die. So a little bit more patience and then you know exactly what to do, but this takes a little bit of practice. And what you can also do, if you don't like decoy, just put something in like puncture, sapping strikes, and then you get a little bit of mana back. But I don't stack any attack speed, that's why it's so low, and I just prefer to use decoy. I'm even considering like making or replacing decoy with net for 1.0. I have to play around a little bit, but for now this works just perfectly for me for so many years. So this is pretty much my rotation. For the high bonus, like what happens basically here is we have the shadow creation with smoke bomb. We have insane damage multipliers from Dark River here with the more multiplier when 3 shadows are out. By the way, that's why I also call it Shadow Hail of Arrows and not just Hail of Arrows, because it takes advantage of this mechanic. And you have this huge multiplier that gives you a higher mana cost for more damage. This one, more damage with high bow mana cost. Hail of Arrow has high mana cost. We can use something like Sky Strike, make it even more mana cost. Have the initial burst for trash clear. There's a lot of mechanics pretty much in the build, but those are the main mechanics to get as much duration as possible. The longer the duration is, the higher the maximum damage bonus here is from the nowhere to hide node. And then, like I said, the Dark Quiver and the Smoke Bomb combination to make it really strong. And they also, for Shift, changed those nodes here to make it a more multiplayer again. Before it was increased. So even now with the Shift Hail of Arrows combo, you do really decent damage now. Like I said, full rotation, bam, Dark Quiver, Shift, Hail of Arrows, you do the big numbers. You will also learn, this will take some time to figure out when the 3 shadows are out. So we will put 1 shadow out with the Shift. So pretty much it doesn't take 3 seconds to get 3 shadows out. Here you see the counter, 1, 2, 3. Once you see the 2, or like I said, you get the feeling, you can shift and then you already have the 3rd one out. So it takes 2 seconds to get the full damage potential. This takes some time to practice, but you will learn it the more you play it. Other than that, I can show you real quick my skill trees. The only thing that pretty much changed from the video that I put out 2 years ago, I added the Sky Strike and also the condom node here that brings a little bit more defense in. Also something that Tank brought in, so really cool playstyle also to add here for Hail of Arrows. This is also something I can recommend for max roll to change, because I saw it here that they put 2 points into this one. Doesn't really make sense. Just put up the mana cost, you get more damage. This one makes it also more defensive and yeah, just better damage at the end. Other than that, as much duration, high duration. The cold conversion here is not that impactful anymore as before. You could also play with fire. Cold is just better because of the chill chance. But since they changed the whole conversion system in the whole game, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you scale. The most important thing only is to have it on cold or fire and not physical to get advantage of the elemental damage over time affix, because that affix has higher value basically. But everything, for example, like elemental arrows, will not be converted to cold anymore. That's also really important for you. Just use a bow that has the highest flat bow damage, and here it doesn't matter if it's bow fire damage, bow lightning damage, bow cold damage. It's just the flat damage that counts for the big damage effectiveness here. We scale dex, we scale damage over time, and we scale elemental damage over time. That's pretty much it. That's it for Hoa. Big AoE also is good, and just go with the more damage here. I don't like to reduce the radius, I just do like a little bit of more damage here. Shift, really important to get the shadow out. Cooldown, more damage here, speed here, invulnerability, and a little bit of dodge, which is pretty good for the build. Dark Quiver, high damage, high damage, high damage with the shadows. And we get a lot of dust shrouds if we pick up some black arrows. So you will see the dust shrouds down here. Walk over it. You have pretty high stacks. So that's also really defensive to use it here. Smoke Bomb, most important part, of course, once you start, put the points into here for the shadow creation. Silver shrouds, dust shrouds, slow. Pretty basic setup. And the decoy is just for getting more defenses. So this one is really important for arena, because if some people or some enemies are behind you, just throw it, kite around. If you know how to play and if you know what the game is all about, you know exactly when to use decoy and no one will ever touch you. This is like the cool thing about this build. It's not the tankiest, but because of the playstyle, you can consider it the tankiest marksman build right now in the game. So mana efficiency, frailty stacks, haste. You can also put points out here, put more haste, because if you throw it on yourself, you get the haste buff, and you're really fast while doing monolith. Second charge, really important for arena, more duration, and a little bit of dodge. That's pretty much it. Passives. We don't use any attack speed. This build doesn't use attack speed or crit. That's also very cool, so that you only focus on like increased damage and just the damage over time, or the base damage part of the skill. So I have the full leveling build guide also in the video description or my LA tools, so you can follow that. I will just go over it. Health. This one is very, very important. Damage taken while moving, so always move. Always move with this build. This is the cool part. We do damage in the meantime. You can always move and have minus 25%. Very, very strong passive here. Increased damage per movement speed. A little bit of glancing blow here. A little bit of glancing blow here. Movement speed here. those were just like a couple of points I put at the end. Level 100 character. This one gives you a lot of damage, but only take it if you like not while leveling, because otherwise you will have mana problems here. Take it at the end. We have so much damage already in the beginning. It will feel so smooth to play. Those are also one of your last points you will put in to get just a little bit more damage out of there. Marksman, nothing here. We put 5 points in here to get the dodge, to get the movement speed and the dodge. The elemental arrows are really important to get the damage up. So here we have a lot of base damage that will add also to your damage for Hail of Arrows. We get 3 extra elemental arrows. We will consume 2 more so that you basically have more damage. So when I shoot, there's 3 are gone, and then you have more damage uptime. Also really important, this node is not working for the last 2 or 3 years. Only 1 point in here works to get the 25% increased damage. I also saw on max roll that I think, let's put a couple of points here, that doesn't work. Put the points out, it doesn't matter. Like I said, for 2 or 3 years, this node didn't work. This one, just for the silver shot abuse to get the extra dodge. 10 points here. Bow leech works because it has the bow attack tag, and we also get flat health. This node also really strong mana regen, increased mana, and most importantly the damage here, and we get more area. That's pretty much about the passives. You only need Rain of Winter. Like, you can even level with a longbow. Look at this. This is the whole leveling part. Super easy to level. This is the bow until you get Rain of Winter when you do a league start. You don't need anything else. There's a lot of flat damage. Choose fire, cold, lightning, whatever. No suffixes will help us out. Super easy to play. Best in case, of course, like 2 LP to get 2 flat damage sources here. Or Aurora is really strong for arena. You don't have to play it. You can use a bone amulet. Arrow guard, also not like necessary. You can just have it because it's more defensive. And the rest, just get as much health, Hail of Arrow duration, resistances as possible. That's pretty much it. I still have my my 1 MP red ring. I still have to craft it before 1.0. Idols, very important. Get 4 of these increased duration with Hail of Arrows. And the best suffix is increased bow damage or increased damage by wielding a bow. That's the same value. Choose whatever you find. But the Hail of Arrows duration is the most important thing. For blessing, it's a little bit old school blessing setup that I have here. Nowadays I would probably go with void resistance. Dodge was just good for higher arena waves because you will die either way with a one shot, so dodge helps you a little bit out there. Crit avoidance or the all resistance. It's debatable. I think probably all resistance has more value because you can just get it on gear, but I was comfortable with this. Lightning resistance, endurance or armor, endurance threshold, resistance, armor. It's a little bit up to you what gear you basically have at the end. That's pretty much like the whole setup. Like I said, mana issues, play a little bit like with patience, don't cast it all the time. If you struggle while leveling, also include puncture. That makes it a little bit easier. I explained everything in my leveling guide. If there's any more information, there's also everything pretty much in my old build guide from 2 years ago. In my opinion, still the best marksman build. I will probably league start it. Maybe I will also play some Falconer, but I'm just so in love with this build. I feel so comfortable with this build that I just probably continue it on 1.0 as well. If there are any changes, which I doubt, because like I said, it's not that popular. It's just strong, but not that popular. That's why I don't expect any nerfs to this build. I will let you know. Let's wait for the patch notes. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you guys soon. Bye-bye.